Hello there, everybody. My name is Keisha Stuckey. I am your host of Keisha's World. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all of our viewers and listeners all across the world. Today, I have a fabulous, fabulous guest. His name is Lane Simmons. He is a man that wears many hats, one of which is musician and also artist developer. And I just want to welcome Lane to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Definitely. I'm happy to be here.
All right now. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the name Lane,
yes.
who came up with that one?
Well, it's definitely a family name. My mother, she named me that. My grandfather, my great-grandfather has the name. I have a cousin with the name. So it's definitely in the family, you know. And my son, when I have him, it'll be little LJ, so Lane Jr.
Okay.
So,
I know that's right, because it kind of sounds like a soap opera character, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe there's like just fame that runs in your family, runs in your blood, right?
Absolutely.
For you to just be famous, be on TV, talking to Keisha.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lane will be everywhere, you know. The Lane.
I know that's right.
Stay in your lane, you know.
I know that's right. And I see you're staying in your lane because you're gifted in music.
Yes.
You've been playing drums since you were a little kid and kind of developed. So
absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about what is it that you do?
Well, like you said, I am a man that has many hats, and I mean, primarily, you know, growing up, I was a musician, playing, you know, drums. You know, I had little straws. My mother gave me straws. She told me when I was 1 year old.
Really?
And just beat the pews until, you know, the straws were unrecognizable.
Okay.
And then, you know, and then from
like
there.
Drinking straws?
Oh, yeah. Just, you know,
so
straws.
You would play it in church on the pews?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Pencils, anything. Pens, you know, and of course on Mom's suit, it'd get all ink all over the place. And, you know, she's like, Lane, you're going to use straws. So basically from there, you know, they used to have little talent shows and so forth in church. And I remember, you know, playing to some of the favorite songs that would happen in praise and worship. And just having that moment at like, you know, 4 or 5 years old, you felt like, you know, I'm doing this big thing.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know, I you got older and just started playing drums just for fun.
Really?
And never would I thought I would graduate from that in playing keys, but you know, so drums is like my primary instrument, and I'm still killing it on the drums.
Were you self-taught?
Pretty much, yes. All the way up through high school, and then I took theory. I even went to a couple of college programs, one in Boston, Conservatory School of Music.
Okay.
And I also participated in Wesleyan University. It's a creative center for the youth program.
I remember
and that. Was a lot of fun.
Wasn't it called CYO?
CCY.
Nice.
Yep, Center for Creative Youth. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was on.
Really? Wow. Because I went to a program at Wesleyan too, and we used to see those kids. Like everybody was like all artsy. They all were there for art and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that must have been
a lot of fun. Oh yeah. So even there, learning the theory behind it is what kind of helped me to do what I do best. To understand, not just make a lot of noise. You know.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm like a Dave Welko, which is an awesome musician out there, or you know,
Come on,
Dennis
you're
Chambers.
being modest, Lane.
No,
Come
I'm
on,
just I'm just keeping it real, you know. So that just taught me a lot. So I enjoy it, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Now, I know that we met kind of like in a church setting at a concert.
Yep.
And you were giving me dirty looks.
Oh Lord.
I was a member of this church, and I was in charge of putting together a concert. And of course, I'm nervous because you know me. I'm just nervous in front of people. So anyway, I really was nervous, and I forgot to call your group on, right?
That's what happened.
And Lane was like, "Excuse me, can I talk to you for a second?"
Yep, group never got called, you know, we're just sitting around, it's hot, you know, fanning, you know, in the middle of August
church
or something.
Like, when is this girl going to call us up here?
Yep,
you know?
Yep, exactly, absolutely. So.
But I didn't eventually call you guys up, right?
Absolutely, you did.
And you guys did a fabulous job. We kind of connected on Facebook, and then I invited you to Cafe Soul.
Yes.
Cafe Soul was an excellent event. It was like a gospel open mic that me and my friend Pastor Will put together at First Baptist Church. So that was really cool because you brought Janine.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
Janine is fabulous. She's a fabulous vocalist, female vocalist.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's amazing. Just her creativity and her love for music is what drives her. She has a strong passion that will touch any female and a male. I mean, rightfully so. And she even, you know, she inspires not only myself, but anyone that she comes in contact with. And a lot of her music is what it's geared to. There's a CD that she has out. It's on iTunes. It's called Janine's Diary. Nice. So it's a way to explore in her heart, you know, how she ministers to herself. Because first, before she can minister to anyone else, she ministers to herself.
Right.
So it's really amazing.
Yeah, that is one beautiful thing about music. It's like, you know, as an artist, you know, when you're singing or you're playing, you know, it really gives you peace. It gives you comfort, you know, and it works for you first, and then for everybody else that listens to it second. But I actually was listening to Janine's Diary CD on the way here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was pumping it. I was in the car. I know people were staring at me.
Yeah, wow. That's it.
It's all good, though. I don't care. But yeah, Janine's CD, you know, I used to listen to that CD like every day. And then my daughter, she's 11 years old. And she loved the CD. We used to fight over it. She'd be like, Mom, let me borrow that CD. I'd be like, girl, you are not bringing that CD out this car. She snuck it one time. She let her Nana listen to it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I just want to commend you because I know you're the president of Monty Entertainment, and then we have Junior Fountain, who's the CEO, fabulous, very talented guy, well known in the community, and you know, the CD was excellent. Like I said, you know, what I like mostly about Janine's Diary is that it was very versatile.
Absolutely.
You know, like I used to work out to it. You know, I used to jam to it in my car, or like sometimes cry to it. Be like, yeah, girl, you ain't lying.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it has that effect. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it really does.
So you guys did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
I know one day. Yeah, I know one day I'm going to see you guys on the Gospel BET Music Awards. You know, with your big trophy and stuff like that. You know, gotta crawl before you walk. But I just want to speak that. You know, because I see you guys going much higher.
Yes, thank you very much.
Definitely.
That's huge coming from you. I don't take. Listen, there's a scripture that talks about, you know, don't despise small beginnings.
That's right.
That's one thing that I thrive on. I don't care, you know, where we are and how we do what we do.
Right.
God's given us a gift, and it's up to us to use that gift, whether it's going to be solely for His glory, which it ultimately should be, and not our own. And just, you know, just taking it to another level, learning your craft, learning, you know, how you should do things, you know, and take advantage of those things, and that's what will make you stand out, and that's why I'm just honored just to be here on Keisha's World, because this is going to reach the masses. This is going to touch just beyond what you may think, and people may not come up to you and say, hey, you know, I saw such and such, and you know, you really were a blessing to me. They won't. They may not come to you. You just got to know within yourself that if God gives you a vision, you know, you've written it, you've made it plain, and it's coming into fruition. And why can't this be on NBC or CBS, you know, on the major national television? It can be, and I believe it. So, and I, just so you know, I prayed, you know, that God will just, you know, open the floodgates of heaven, especially if your motive in your heart is sincere and pure. Why not? And you know, if God does it for, you know, Steve Harvey, you know, Oprah Winfrey, you know, you name it. Why can't He not do it for us? You know what I'm saying? True. So just stay encouraged. Yeah, I ain't trying to preach, but I'm just wanting to be, you know.
Because I was about to ask for a box of tissues, because you really touched me. I really appreciate that encouragement, because, you know, when you're striving to be the person that God created you to be, sometimes it could get rough, right?
Absolutely.
You know, people might judge you. Everybody's not going to receive you.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, you might go through like different struggles, you know, but it's important to keep moving, you know. I mean, when I first started doing this show, you know, I was going through a really rough time.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, you couldn't tell from like me being on the show, because I would just kind of like turn that off and turn on Keisha, you know, but, you know, things are getting better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, every day we grow into ourselves, and you know, we get reminded daily of what we're supposed to be. And people will comment and say, you know, Keisha, I watched your show. You know, I saw about this girl that got healed and from cancer or from rape, domestic violence, and you know, it really touches me. And this is what inspires me to keep doing it, because you know, it's not all about us.
No, not at all. Not at all. Nope, not at all.
You know, we got to help other people, and that's how we actually help ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just doing this show actually like really did build me up and strengthen me.
Wow.
To be you know, just to reach hard, strive for more. I really appreciate you just encouraging me. I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate all the people out there that are watching this show and supporting. I really do. I love you all.
Absolutely.
So wow. So you got all this going on. So you're the president of Monty Entertainment.
Yes, absolutely.
Junior Fountain. He's the CEO.
Yes.
Now you guys also have a group called God's Generation, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, God's Generation is like, to me, you guys are like local celebrities. That's how I look at you. I'm like, oh my God, God's Generation, because you guys are everywhere. Like, everybody knows about God's Generation, like in the Connecticut area, and I'm pretty sure New York and beyond the tri-state. And you guys are just, this is an awesome group.
Yes, yes. I mean, we started 15 years ago.
Wow,
and to God be glory for that. Yes, 15 years. So we've been, you know, pushing at the grind. I mean, we have shared stages with a lot of greats, you know, Richard Smallwood and, you know, Ty Tribbett. The list, you know, goes on. Dottie Peoples, Aaron Neville. We were down in Florida for it was a Grace Festival where we opened up for Aaron Neville. He was down there, and it was nice just to kind of be in the same arena. And one thing that I will say about God's Generation Ministries is that we're diverse, not only in character and persona. You know, we have, you know, the Hispanic, we have the blacks, you know, we have Caucasian, everything, you name it. We don't limit. The sky's the limit. There you go. Absolutely. And it's inviting to those that, you know, don't necessarily feel connection in a church setting. So we consider ourselves the alternative church, where we're reaching a lot of young people who are just lost and just want to find a balance to, you know, get on the right track. And that's what we take our time in doing. We have pillars and leaders in the organization that pretty much keep the foundation strong, and that's what we need. So and with that, you know, we have a whole, I mean, I guess you can say, you know, it grows. Like, we have a whole new group of young people that are on fire. Oh, yes.
Wow.
I mean, you know, and that's good. You know, it seems like in a period of 5-year increments, you know, you know, you kind of shed, you know, it's like a tree. You got to cut some things away so it can grow. And, you know, and just like for Keisha's World, for example, if there's, you know, different strategies that you want to change, don't feel afraid to change it. You know, that's what's going to keep people, you know, excitable, and you're going to keep their attention span. It's okay to go against the grain. You know, a lot of people want to go with the flow. Exactly. I'm the type, you know, I like to go against the grain, and you'll be surprised how far.
So basically, you guys don't do the same thing over and over again. You're not afraid to try something new, get some new people or some new strategy.
Absolutely.
Right, because you can only learn by trial and error, right?
You got that right.
You learn from your mistakes. As a matter of fact, I think I saw something on your Facebook page, a quote that you had wrote about how your mistakes is what make you. Could you build on that a little bit?
Absolutely.
I was like, okay, Lane, when is the book coming out?
I know. I really am. I currently working on like an inspirational quote book. So everything that I write, quick plug, just look me up, Lane Simmons, Facebook, and you'll be blessed. I'm pretty sure you will. But basically, yes, you definitely learn from, you know, your past mistakes. Even if it's as small as a tic tac or as big as an elephant, it doesn't matter. We all have them. We all go through with them. And then there's periods of times when you're going to feel overwhelmed, and you're like, well, how am I going to keep my sanity? And one thing that I learned is, to be honest, and I'm not trying to be deep saying this, is a simple thing called prayer. You know, because a lot of times You may not know what to say in prayer. You don't have to be deep and philosophical.
Right,
you know, you just cry out. Even if it's a cry, if tears come down, that's a prayer. You know, if Jesus sweat blood, had blood drops on his forehead, you know, he was in intense prayer at that moment. And through that intensity, you know, God raised him up, you know, to do what he needed to do, and that was to conquer death. So a lot of times in our insanity, like when we're just going left and right and don't know how we're going to, you know, make it, you know, from A to B, you know, pray in your own way, in your own language, and then what's being developed through that prayer is patience. You know, and from patience, the scripture talks about when patience has its entire work, you will be perfect, wanting nothing, meaning you're going to be like at a level of where it's just humility and there's love, there's joy, you know, through that prayer. So, you know, I'm not trying to, oh Lord, I just hope I'm not preaching, you know.
No, it's okay, because you know what? People are struggling. People are hurting. So many people need encouragement. You know, and Facebook is a good way, you know, to encourage people, and it's also a good venue for people that need encouragement. Because I have a lot of friends just like you that say powerful things like that up there. And sometimes, like, I'm really going through. And I'll look and I'll be like, oh gosh, Lane, you just made my day with what you said, or just another person maybe from a different country. And you know, people subscribe to your what you're saying.
I thank God for
I know
that.
I did. I know I used to get your little things on my phone. I got this new phone. I need a little assistance with it. But yeah, you know, you just never know the impact that you have on another person.
That's
you know
amazing.
what I'm saying? Because so many people, there's so much negativity out there. You know, negativity, it's easy to feed off of negativity and to meet up with negative people. But when you have positive people around you, you know, that are building you up and not putting you down, that makes a huge difference.
It sure does.
In somebody's life. And that shows true purpose, that you are trying to be the person that God created you to be. He created you to encourage people, to inspire people.
That's exactly.
You know, and you can't go wrong with that.
Not at all. Not at all.
So tell me a little bit about this group that you have called SOW.
Yes, SOW. It's an acronym, and I love acronyms. And it's funny because my partner Junior, he's the same way. He loves acronyms. You know, he has an acronym for everything. But SOW, so stands for Sounds of Worship, and basically the reason God gave that to me is just to kind of bring inquiring minds to listen for a sound, a certain sound, not just any sound. It's a certain sound that for me has been birthed through childhood. You know, growing up and using some of the pain that I felt through growing up and situations, because I had 1,000,005 of them, going through things right now, you know, where I just want to put that in melody form and just let it transcend, because I believe that music is very spiritual. So what you're feeling, you know, if David can, you know, make his enemies fall asleep, you know, or at peace just through his playing, why can he not do it through me? And I've seen things happen, you know, when I play, you know, there's just a feeling that just comes over me, and I take everything that's been bottled inside, even if it's negative, you know, any hurt people, the Judases in my life, the ones that betray you and just make you feel kind of like, you know, you're corny, you're dumb, you're crazy, whatever. Just taking all of that and just creating a sound, and that sound is where the group So comes into play, and the way that they sing, the melodies that are formed and created, it's like heavenly. That's the best way that I can describe it.
Really?
It's, you know,
it's like a little piece of heaven. It's like through this group's worship and the way they sing, it's like bringing a little piece of heaven down
there you
to
go.
earth.
Absolutely.
Because I know I need a little piece of heaven right now.
I'm sure. Seriously. Oh, we all
you know,
do.
And it's crazy, you know, what you're saying about how powerful music is. Music has an impact. Whether it be negative or positive, and it can set you in a certain mood. You know, you can listen to a certain song, it might make you sad. You might listen to a certain song, it might make you happy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's great that you guys have this sound that is conducive to healing. You know, like letting people know, you know, we have pain too, and this is how we process this pain and get the healing is through worship. Through inviting God's presence in through song.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I don't know, lately I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube about, you know, a lot of these groups that are out here, like R&B rappers, that are basically like satanic. Like they're worshiping Satan.
Wow.
You know, they're putting up symbols, the satanic symbols in their videos, and then they're trying to hide it. Oh, no, we don't really worship Satan.
Wow.
And there's even talk about some of these artists that have actually sold their soul to the devil and stuff like that. I'm like,
goodness.
I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think it was that serious when I popped in Beyonce or Jay-Z. Maybe I should fall back.
Oh, I hear that.
You know, how do you feel about that? Like how music impacts and everything?
Yeah, well, it's just that. Everything that is created, whether it's a long melodic sound, has some kind of a spiritual attachment to it. And to back that up, you know, your motive behind creating what you create. You know, the songs of today, you know, they have songs that are trying to get women, you know, men in the bed with another female, doing things that, you know, which is probably against biblical principle. And I have to go there because, you know, everything that you listen to when you invite it, it was created for a reason. Whether it was just to make money, well, guess what? You're listening to lyrics that those lyrics are getting inside you, and, you know, you might act on those lyrics, you know, so there's
like subliminally. So you're saying that if I listen to a song about two chicks getting it in, I might start thinking, you know what?
You'll get tendencies.
Shakita look kind of good over there. Like subliminally, like that's getting into my spirit.
Yeah,
by listening to it.
You are correct on that. Absolutely. It's a very thin line. Now, the role that I play with my entertainment group, I have to kind of be in the know as to what's going on in the secular world, because it competes. You know, there is a competition in music, period. You know, some may not agree with that, but there is. And the reason why is because, you know, you want to stay ahead of the game. And there's music that was played back in the days, like I'll give you a prime example. Michael Jackson, when he was young, you know, even people today are using his samples. Why? Because he was ahead of his time, you know, and a lot of his samples it's great music.
It's like timeless.
Absolutely, absolutely. And being that it's timeless, it's almost like eternal, just like, you know, God's Spirit is eternal, it's everlasting, you know, so that's why, you know, you got to be very careful what lyrics you allow in so that, you know, you won't be all over the place, so to speak.
Right. And I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like secular music or that I don't listen to it. You know, like for instance, Mary J. Blige. I find her to be, you know, an awesome artist, and I believe that she is spiritual. I believe that she does love the Lord by some of her lyrics and also through interviews. And Mary J. Blige got a lot of women through some really tough times. Wow. You know, women that have been raped, women that have been molested, women that have been victims or survivors of domestic violence, you know, women that have been cheated on, you know, women whose husbands or boyfriends had babies on the side. I mean, Mary J., but I think that everybody in the industry, whether it be secular or gospel, they have an effect. But it's whether is that effect positive or negative? Do you want your kids listening to this stuff? Because like you said, this music penetrates into your spirit.
Yes, it does.
It penetrates into your soul. It's just like if you go and you watch a movie and then you kind of leave that movie kind of like feeling a certain emotion based on what was going on in that movie, and then you carry that into your life.
Absolutely.
You know,
so absolutely.
I commend you that, you know, you chose to be a positive impact in the music industry and not a negative impact, because you could have went either way with it, Lane. You could have took the gift God gave you, and you could have been up in a strip club, you know what I'm saying? You could have been doing anything.
You're very right.
But you chose this.
Yep, absolutely.
So, you know, for that, I commend you and
thank you
and
for
keep
that.
up the good work. So I just want to go into, like, what was your childhood like growing up? I know you said you were always into the drums and stuff like that, so you did grow up in church.
Yeah, absolutely. And basically, you know, I always felt weird, different, you know, so to speak. I couldn't quite fit in. Didn't understand why.
Like an outcast almost?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I had self-esteem issues. And a lot of people today may not even realize that I would have self-esteem problems, because I'm always talking about, you can do this and you can do that. And me, I had a lot of confidence, self-esteem problems and issues, and I'm growing even out of them now. You know, a grown man, 32 years old right now, and you know, I don't know, I'm just learning to be a better me. So in my childhood, I just felt like, you know, I was just different, you know. And my mom raised me in church basically all my life. So, you know, from, you know, as soon as I came out of her womb, I'm in there, you know. And so that's kind of where my upbringing was. And, you know, moms, and your mom, you know, moms would say, you know, they may not have made the right decisions, you know, and it's okay, you know, mom's not perfect. We're all not perfect, you know, but through it all, I had to kind of look at the things and mistakes that even may have happened, that they were for my good, you know, they were all for my good. So
now, what's the story like between your mom and your dad? Were they married?
Yes, they were definitely happily married, you know, as what they all say, they start out like that, and, you know, yeah, absolutely. And basically, for, you know, personal reasons, you know, they divorced. But my father still stayed a very strong figure in my life. So it wasn't like, you know, dad went away and mom went a different direction. They both, you know, were in the church, and my father just stayed very strong in my life. So and that's very, very critical, especially nowadays. If you don't have a father figure, you know, you really need, you know, to have that support. Otherwise, it all does fall on the mother. And in my family, you know, my mom, she had to be 2 times as strong and harder on me just for that alone. So you can kind of do the math and figure out, like, oh, what I went through.
It's like, even though your dad was there, you know, but he didn't live with you guys, so you feel like your mom had to sometimes take on that dad role.
Oh, definitely.
Because the dads always have to be like more firm and strict. It's always mom that's, oh, that's okay, honey, and then dad comes in, oh, you better sit down.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I see what you're saying.
Definitely.
So, like, how did the divorce impact you, though?
Yeah, well, it was hard. I can't front and say that it wasn't. It was very hard. I felt lost for a period of time, maybe like the first year. You know, always crying, always to myself, trying to fit in, and I couldn't. So just that alone, not having, you know, father in the house, you know. But then, you know, as I got older, my father showed more presence, and you know, it was always that you can go with him on the weekends. So, you know, it kind of, you know, helped me to survive, so to speak, you know, having just that father figure. But so I can't really speak on those that may not have that father there, because you know, the father just may have his own reasons as to why. All we can do is just pray and hope that the mom does the best job that she can do, and try to respect what, you know, the mother is doing, because she's only one person, and that's what I had to learn. Your mom is only one person, and you can only just respect what she's trying to do, you know. So,
all right, so all you sons and daughters out there that have parents that are divorced, take heed to what he's saying, that sometimes things happen, it's not your fault, and try to respect your parent, whoever, you know, is in your life, and that's trying to raise you. Just respect them, and, you know, try to take it one day at a time.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more.
Wow. So, your dad, I know you told me during the break that your dad did eventually pass away. How old were you when your dad passed away?
Basically, I was 25, or 26.
Oh, okay.
25, 26, you know, it feels like it was yesterday. So that's why I have to kind of like think. I was like 25, 26. And it was very, he died of cancer. And the crazy thing about that whole thing, I was able to talk to him the day before he passed. Didn't know they admitted him into the hospital. Had no idea. But he was in the intensive care. Got through to him. Talked to my father. He could only talk with a whisper. He was like, "Hey, son," you know, and didn't know he was dying, you know, until the next day when my stepmother called me and said, "Lane, you know, he's gone." And it was just like, wow. You know, but even that, you know, I know I'm living my father's dream, because he was a musician as well. He played guitar, you know.
Do you feel like he passed that mantle on to you?
Absolutely, I sure do.
Kind of like passing you the torch.
Absolutely.
I think he'd be proud of you, Lane.
Oh, I know. Oh, my Lord.
I think he would. Wow.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Well, I have a sound clip when he died. I saved it on my phone at home, voicemail, the message that he left when the first CD came out, a song that I wrote called "Show Me Your Glory." And my father was like, "Lane, it's happening, son." You know, and I have that. Every time I hear it, you know, I get teary-eyed, and, you know, because, you know, I won't hear that voice until, you know, it's time to ascend into glory myself, you know. But until then, you know, it was very tragic, you know, when I lost him, you know.
I can imagine, because it was kind of sudden.
Oh, yeah. Sure was.
You know, like right now, you know, like Mother's Day and Father's Day is coming. And a lot of people that have lost a mother or a father, I'm pretty sure are going through right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, as these holidays come up. You know, what would you say to somebody that's going through that lost a parent, just to kind of encourage them?
Yeah, well, the best thing that I can think of, just treasure the memories that you have in your heart, you know, in your mind. Look at pictures, and that's what I do. And take some time just to be by yourself. You know, I would say take time to be by yourself, be alone, look at some photos, and it's okay to cry. You know, you can cry the whole day. You know, but just take time to yourself, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Lane, you know what? I don't know how 30 minutes passed by that quickly.
Oh my gosh.
It seemed like we were only talking for 5 minutes, but I guess I'm going to have you back on again.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
So that we can talk some more, because there's so much to you.
Yeah.
And I know you have events coming up, but if you guys want to look up Lane, just go on Facebook. His name is Lane Simmons, or you could go on YouTube and type in.
Absolutely.
But there's never a dull moment in Keisha's world, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I know.
How funny how time flies, right?
Yeah,
when you're having fun.
Absolutely, yeah, seriously. I'm shocked at We're not recording or nothing, right? Oh, okay.